The January 6th insurrection, a chronicle of chaos, consequences, and ongoing investigations. Introduction. On January 6, 2021, the United States Capitol, a symbol of democratic governance, became the site of an unprecedented attack. Fueled by baseless claims of a stolen election, a mob of then-President Donald Trump supporters stormed the Capitol, disrupting the certification of the 2020 presidential election results. This event, which resulted in deaths, injuries, and widespread trauma, has since spurred one of the largest criminal investigations in U.S. history, congressional hearings, and a national reckoning over political extremism. This essay examines the events of January 6th, highlights individual stories of participants and victims, explores the controversial topic of pardons, and analyzes ongoing investigations into authorities involved. The events of January 6th, a timeline of violence. The rally and incitement. The day began with a Save America rally near the White House, where Trump and allies, including Rudy Giuliani and Rep. Mo Brooks, repeated debunked election fraud claims. Trump's directive to supporters to fight like hell and march to the Capitol ignited the crowd. Thousands descended on the Capitol, where Congress was convening to certify Joe Biden's Electoral College victory. Breach of the Capitol. By midday, the mob overwhelmed Capitol police barriers. Rioters scaled walls, smashed windows, and flooded into the building. Lawmakers, staff, and journalists barricaded themselves as the mob ransacked offices, including the Senate chamber and Speaker Nancy Pelosi's office. For over 4 hours, the Capitol was under siege, delaying certification until the early hours of January 7th. Casualties and immediate aftermath. 5 deaths were linked to the attack. Capitol Police Officer Brian Sicknick, who suffered strokes hours after engaging with rioters. Ashley Babbitt, a Trump supporter shot by police, and 3 others who died of medical emergencies. Over 140 officers were injured, many with lasting trauma. Individual stories, perpetrators and victims. Jacob Chansley, the QAnon shaman. Jacob Chansley, clad in horns and face paint, became the insurrection's infamous face. He pleaded guilty to obstructing Congress and was sentenced to 41 months in prison. Chansley, who claimed Trump invited him to the Capitol, later expressed remorse but faced public scorn as a symbol of the riot's absurdity. Ashley Babbitt, a fatal encounter. Ashley Babbitt, a 35-year-old Air Force veteran, was fatally shot by Capitol Police Lieutenant Michael Byrd as she attempted to breach a barricaded door near the House chamber. Her death, ruled a homicide, sparked polarized reactions, with some conservatives hailing her as a martyr, and others emphasizing the officer's justification in using force. Officer Brian Sicknick, a hero's legacy. Officer Brian Sicknick collapsed hours after confronting rioters. The D.C. medical examiner later attributed his death to natural causes, though noted the stress of the day contributed. His passing prompted bipartisan mourning, and he lay in honor in the Capitol Rotunda, a rare tribute underscoring the attack's gravity. Rosanne Boyland and the Blue Lives Matter paradox. Rosanne Boyland, a 34-year-old Trump supporter, died of an accidental overdose amid the chaos. Her family claimed she was trampled, but autopsy reports contradicted this. Boyland's presence highlighted the irony of self-proclaimed Back the Blue activists assaulting police. Officer Harry Dunn, a voice for accountability. Capitol Police Officer Harry Dunn, one of the few black officers on duty, faced racial slurs during the attack. His emotional congressional testimony highlighted the racial animus underlying the riot and the enduring trauma faced by law enforcement. The Oath Keepers and Proud Boys. Organized extremism. Stuart Rhodes, founder of the Oath Keepers, and Enrique Tarrio, leader of the Proud Boys, were convicted of seditious conspiracy for orchestrating the attack. Their sentences, 18 years for Rhodes and 22 years for Tarrio, marked a historic use of the charge since the 1995 Oklahoma City bombing. Pardons and political controversy. While Trump pardoned 143 individuals during his presidency, including allies like Steve Bannon and Roger Stone, none were January 6 defendants, as charges were filed after he left office. However, Trump has repeatedly hinted at pardoning rioters if re-elected, calling them political prisoners at a 2022 rally. This stance has drawn criticism for undermining accountability and emboldening extremists. Notably, some GOP figures like Rep. Marjorie Taylor Greene have echoed support for pardons, framing prosecutions as partisan overreach. Investigations, unraveling the plot and accountability. the Justice Department's unprecedented effort. The FBI has arrested over 1,300 individuals across all 50 states, with charges ranging from trespassing to seditious conspiracy. Approximately 500 defendants have received sentences averaging 45 months. High-profile cases include Robert Palmer, a Florida man who attacked officers with a fire extinguisher, sentenced to 63 months. Guy Reffitt, a Texas militia member who threatened lawmakers, received 87 months. Brittany Barnett, a Tennessee nurse, sentenced to 60 days, reflecting judicial discretion based on conduct. The House Select Committee's findings. The Bipartisan House Committee, after 18 months of interviews and document reviews, concluded Trump orchestrated a multi-part conspiracy to overturn the election. Key findings included Trump's pressure on state officials, e.g. Georgia's Brad Raffensperger, coordination with far-right groups like the Proud Boys, failure to act for 187 minutes as violence unfolded. The committee referred Trump to the DOJ for charges including obstruction and incitement, though prosecution remains uncertain. State and federal probes, Georgia election interference, Fulton County DA. Fani Willis is pursuing charges against Trump and allies for election tampering. National Guard deployment delay. Investigations revealed Pentagon officials delayed deploying the Guard due to political concerns, exacerbating the chaos. Capitol Police failures. Internal reviews criticized intelligence lapses and inadequate preparedness, prompting leadership changes. Ongoing scrutiny of government officials. The DOJ is examining whether Trump-era officials, including Chief of Staff Mark Meadows and lawyer John Eastman, illegally plotted to disrupt certification. Meanwhile, the Office of Congressional Ethics investigates GOP lawmakers like Representative Barry Loudermilk for allegedly aiding rioters' reconnaissance. Conclusion: democracy's fragility and resilience. January 6th exposed vulnerabilities in U.S. democracy, from the ease of inciting violence to institutional unpreparedness. Yet the robust legal response and bipartisan condemnation initially underscored democratic resilience. As trials continue and political tensions simmer, the insurrection remains a cautionary tale about the perils of disinformation and the enduring need for accountability. The path forward hinges on reconciling justice with unity, a challenge that will define America's democratic experiment for decades.